Hey guys, it is DJ Talks here, and I'm going to tell you guys a story about some hot chocolate. Now, this isn't the hot chocolate you normally drink on a cold winter night. This is literally hot chocolate. I'm talking about regular dark chocolate with some Carolina Reapers in it. It was a less than fun time. So, originally, what started this whole craze was we saw like a bunch of ads for like a bunch of hot stuff, and we're like, hey, we should totally get this, even though we're gonna die if we eat it. And we were just talking about it, and my buddy, he decided to buy a chocolate bar. I think it said it was about 6 to 8 million Scoville units, which is really hot. For scale, for reference, a jalapeno pepper is about 15,000, so ghost pepper's about 1 to 3 million. And Carolina Reaper's like 3 million and up. So, yeah, it could get really, really painful. But, so we ordered this, and it came in one night after work, and basically went to the gas station and bought a bunch of milk. I'm talking like those little pints of milk. We bought like 7 of those. And, fun fact, chocolate milk works much better for hot things than, regular white milk. But, yeah, so we get over to his house, we each have a little bite. It was really hot. It wasn't as bad as I expected it to be, but again, it was still really hot, so we downed like 2 things of, the milk pretty quickly. By the end of it, we were all out. And my buddy, he gets this hilarious idea to call up his little brother, who was about, I think, 12 or 13 at the time. Call up his little brother and his brother's friend to come over because they live right next to his house. And to eat him. Whenever he called him up, he was like, oh yeah, we got this chocolate. It's actually some pretty fancy chocolate. It's a little bit spicy, but not too bad. It was pretty expensive, and I think it was made in like Belgium or something. And he didn't tell him how hot this was, so this was a surprise to them. So they came over, they checked out the chocolate, they each took a bite, and let me tell you, immediately, like, as they started chewing it, their eyes both got extremely wide, and they started screaming. And, like, they spit it out, and, they started throwing up and stuff, and they went over to the sink and tried drinking some water. Of course, water doesn't help with really spicy things. And so, a little funny thing for some background behind what's gonna happen next, which I find is hilarious, is, okay, when we first got there, we were looking in the fridge for some milk. And they found a gallon of milk, but it turns out that milk has been there for about 5 months. He just hadn't taken it out of his fridge because it was just expired, and it was the jug of milk that he got whenever he first moved into that apartment. Or, well, it's a duplex. Whenever they first moved in, so they decided to keep it in there. This was like 3 hours before this happened. So fast forward back to the present. They open up the fridge, and they grab this gallon of milk. Now, this thing is, like, all inflated and stuff because it was, because, you know, it's old. There was a bunch of gas, and, they didn't even open it. So, whenever they opened the fridge, they grabbed that milk, and before my buddy could tell them, hey, that's expired, don't drink that, his brother immediately opened it up and just started chugging it, and then he got to he yelled, like, don't drink that, that's expired, that milk's like 5 months old. They went over to the sink, he threw it up, then for some stupid reason, his buddy also grabbed that jug of milk and started drinking it despite my buddy even saying that it was expired for like 5 months. So he started drinking it, he threw up, and they went outside, they started throwing up all over the place in the yard, and they were like crying and stuff. They ended up going up to, his mom's house, who again lives right next to him, and, they were crying, and his mom called him up, and was like, why did you do that? That was so stupid, that's so mean, why did you give them something that hot? And he was like, well, we told them it was hot, and it was just overall a hilarious experience. I think that's, like, my second most funny experience. You'd really have to be there to see just how hilarious it was entirely. And, yeah, just how everything perfectly aligned to just go wrong at the right moments. And it was a good time. I'll probably share the story about how we did the Death Nut Challenge later in another video. But for now, I guess I hope you have a wonderful evening, or afternoon, or morning, whatever your time zone is. And yeah, have a wonderful time, and don't forget to subscribe and like the video if you're watching this. Thanks for watching.